Hello students. Today we will start with subject financial and investment skill. Code is OPN 272. So first we will see the first topic, investment. So there are different investment options available in the market that cater to the individual's needs. This can be classified as equity, fixed income instruments, commodities, property or real estate. So first we will see fixed interest securities. What is fixed interest security? It is instrument are usually issued by the corporations, government and semi-government bodies and financial institutions such as bank to raise the funds. The price fluctuation for quoted fixed income instruments are relatively smaller for them than equity share. However, fixed interest securities are more likely than shares to be affected by the inflation. And there might be credit or default risk if you choose the corporate bonds or the non-government bonds. So we will see the what is government bills. Okay. So they are short dated securities issued by the governments to fund their short-term spending requirements. They are issued at the discount and redeemed at par with no coupons. They are often highly marketable and secure. There are two types of the government bonds, fixed interest bonds, which provide payments that are fixed in monetary terms, and index linked bonds, which provide payments that increase in line with changes in the inflation index. So some bonds are variable redemption dates and some bonds are undated. Bonds issued by the governments of developed countries in their domestic currency are the most secure long-term investment available, but this should lead to low expected returns. Corporate banks, first we have seen the fixed interest bonds in the government bonds, and second one is the corporate bonds that are usually less secure, less marketable than government bonds, and investors will however require the greater yield as a compensation. Debentures, what is debentures? These are the loans that are secured on some or all the assets of the company. With unsecured loan stock, there is no specific security for the loan. Convertible unsecured loan stocks give their holders the right to convert into ordinary share of the company at later date. Certificate of deposits are short-term investments usually issued by the banks. So what we have seen, first fixed interest securities, then government bills. They are short-term securities issued by the governments to fund their short-term spending requirements. Then there are two types of government bonds, fixed interest bonds and corporate bonds. Debentures, we have seen the debentures as a loans that are secured on some or all the assets of the company. Then certificate of deposits are short-term investments usually issued by the bank. Next, we will see variable return assets. What is equity investment? Equity shares are the most common type of share capital. They give right to share of the residual profits of the company and to the residual capital value if the company is wound up or together with voting rights and various other rights. An equity investment generally refers to buying and holding of shares of public limited companies. The share can be purchased directly from the company via public offering or from other investors via or otherwise the stock market. So first, equity investment refer to the buying and holding of the shares of the public limited companies. These shares can be purchased directly from the company, public offering, or investor or the stock market. Okay. The investor is divided by the payment of dividend by the company or making a capital gain at the time of selling at the higher price. The profit in terms of capital gain may attract a lower tax rate than other income. So equities have proved to be the most attractive investment instrument over the years because of the level of the return it offers in the long run. Okay, so there are different stock exchanges and their equities. So this is the about equity. Then next investment type is gold. Gold is another popular investment option. In India, for centuries, gold holding was the treated as an barometer of wealth thanks to social and cultural values. Gold is regularly purchased on various occasions like childbirth, marriages, wedding anniversary, okay, etc. So gold is considered as auspicious and is an integral part of celebration. The price of the gold is largely determined by supply and demand, and because of its limited supply, prices tend to rise over the years with growth in the demand. As the growth demand increases, the prices of the gold is increased day by day. So even the treasuries of government across the world maintain gold reserves against their currencies printed. Amongst all the commodities, gold is considered to be the best investment option. There are two primary reasons why we need to invest in gold. One reason is investment in gold is the hedge against inflation over a period of time. The return on the gold investment is in the line with the rate of inflation. And second reason is gold is negatively correlated to equity investments. For instance, 2007 onwards, the equity market started performing poorly, whereas the gold performed well. Okay, when the market gets down, the gold still in the market. Okay, so having gold as an investment option in your portfolio mix will help you reduce the overall volatility of your portfolio. Mutual funds. Okay, what is mutual funds? A range of mutual fund schemes are also available for the investment. For laymen, they would probably provide better return with relatively lesser risk. Okay, in mutual fund, it is less risk and provide better returns. Mutual funds are managed by experienced and skilled fund managers at very low cost. Most of the funds have outperformed Sensex in the India. The funds provide a mix of the basket to choose, such as only debt, only equity, a mixture of the debt, equity, and real estate in the specified proportion. So, what is mutual funds? It is mix of the basket to choose, such as debt, equity, or the mixture of the debt, equity, and the real estate. To choose from the options available, one need to take into account the investor's appetite for the risk and desired return level. Okay, it depends upon the risk and the return which is available. So here are the some examples given. You can solve it. Next, we will see what is regulators. Data over 100 years in the USA also indicate that the equities help beat inflation in the long run, and they are the most attractive investment option, equities. Okay. We then start thinking how to invest in equities. Where do I come across an interface that would help in investing in equities? Does someone regulate the transaction related to buying or the selling of the equities? So the platform that help the investor in trading in equities are known as the stock exchange. Okay, the platform that help the investors in trading in equities are known as the stock exchanges. So in India, there are two major stock exchanges. One, there is located in the Bombay, so it is named as Bombay Stock Exchange. It is short form as BSC. Okay, Bombay Stock Exchange. And the second one is the National Stock Exchange, that is NSE. So first one is NSE and BSE. Also, the stock market in India is regulated by the regulatory body called as Securities and Exchange Board of the India. These two exchanges, that is BSE and NSE, these are controlled by the SEBI, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India. SEBI also regulates the issuance of the shares and bonds by the companies. The objective of the SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India, is to protect the interest of retail investors promote the stock exchanges to develop and regulate the market participants and intermediaries. Okay, so there is the SEBI is the body which controls the stock exchange, that is BSE and NSE. So next we will see, it also ensures that the stock exchanges, that is BSE and NSE, and the brokers conduct the business fairly, as well as keep a check on practices so that investors do not get exploited. Okay, so this is the about SEBI. SEBI also tries to ensure the investors with a great funding support do not try to manipulate the market directions. So next is the legal framework of working in the market is to set up by SEBI, and they have the power to catching a person if he or she is up to something fishy in the market. Okay, if they are illegal, then they are have the power to catching that person. Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI. The Securities and Exchange Board of India was established on April 12, 1992 in the accordance with the provisions of the Security Exchange Board of India. That is, the Act was implemented in 1992. The Act defines the power and functions of the Security Board and Exchange Board. Okay, so SEBI was preamble describes in details in the function and the powers of the board. Its preamble states that SEBI must protect the interests of the investors in securities and to promote the development of and to regulate the securities market for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So next we will see who is the regulator of the all the banks, that is the Reserve Bank of India, short as RBI. Okay, the Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of India, just the same way as Bank of England in the UK. Okay, the central bank of UK, that is Bank of England. The Reserve Bank of India was established on April 1, 1935 in accordance with the provision of the Reserve Bank Act, that is 1934. The act was implemented in 34 and the bank was established in 1935. Though originally privately owned, since nationalization in 1949, the Reserve Bank is fully owned by the government of India. Okay, this was nationalized in 1949. So this was owned by the government of India. The Reserve Bank affairs are governed by the Central Bank of Directors. The board is appointed by the Government of India in keeping with the Reserve Bank Act. So there are different functions of the RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, like banking functions, how to regulate the banking functions, issue of the currency, managers of foreign exchange, monetary authority of the RBI, then regulatory and supervisory of the financial system, development role of the RBI. So these are the different functions like banking functions, bankers to the government, bankers to bank. Okay, then issuance of currency, how to issue or exchange or destroy the currency or coins not fit for the circulation. Then manager of the foreign exchange, manage how to manages the foreign exchange. Then monetary authority of the RBI formulates, implement and monitors the monetary policy, okay, of the banks, and regulatory supervisory of the financial system. It prescribes the broad parameters of banking operation within which the country's banking and the financial system functions. So next we will see, these are the some of the questions related to the RBI and all the things we have seen. So now next we will see the influence of the RBI on the investment market. Okay, RBI is the body which regulates or which controls the banking, and the investment market is controlled by the SEBI. Okay, so the money market covers transactions related to bank deposits and short-term securities. The Reserve Bank of India directly intervenes directly in the market for short-term securities. Its the primary objective is to influence the interest rate. It also encourages the development of private sector markets in which banks can manage their liquidity. It also seeks to enhance the efficiency and bring on competition in this market. So controlling short-term interest rates. In order to control short-term interest rates, the RBI purchases and sell treasury bills and cash management bills at such a price that it implies market rate to be the target rate. Automatically, other banks will have to adopt this rate. So if they do not do so, then this will increase the losses. So controlling short-term interest rate, the Reserve Bank of India and the money market, in order to control short-term interest rate, the RBI purchases and sell treasury bills. We have seen that. So controlling liquidity, RBI can buy government securities from the market to release cash and sell these securities to suck the cash from the system. These open market operations lead to control liquidity. This is achieved by the RBI with the help of some or other follow parameters like repo rate, how the rate at which the commercial bank can borrow the money from the RBI. This rate, when the RBI borrow the money from the banks can borrow the money from RBI. The rate is called as repo rate. Reverse repo rate, the rate at which commercial banks park their extra cash with the RBI, and this is called as reverse repo rate. And the cash reserve ratio, that is CRR. Okay, the required percentage of bank deposits that have to be kept with the RBI, and SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio, the percentage of total deposits that have to be present as liquid cash within the banks. These assets have to be kept in non-cash forms such as government sections, metals, and approve the securities. So next, the currency market. RBI maintains large amount of gold and foreign currencies. Together they form the foreign reserves. If RBI buys foreign reserve by spending Indian rupees, the exchange rate shall come down. On the contrary, if RBI sells foreign reserve, Indian rupee supply will decrease and its price worsen. So other currency will increase. Providing information to the investment markets, the Reserve Bank of India complies and publishes a variety of monetary and financial statistics such as domestic banking statistics, external financial statistics, and international banking statistics. So this information you will get on the RBI side. Okay, so these are the different problems, and to answer the different questions. What is PDO? Public Debt Office. A section of RBI called as Public Debt Office performs public debt management functions. It accomplishes the following tasks like to issue the treasury bills, the debted government securities to the market, new issues, buying gifts, okay, buying gilts regulation in order to accomplish the objective. The government borrowing needs as cheaply and efficiently as possible. A group of highly qualified financial firms or banks are appointed to play the role of the specific intermediaries in the government security market between the issuer on the one hand and the market on the other. So we will see primary and primary dealers or the market makers in return of the state of the obligations, such as making continuous bids and the offer price in the marketable government securities or submitting reasonable bids in the auction. These firms receive a set of privileges in the primary and secondary market. Okay, so what is settlement? The negotiate dealing system, that is NDS, for electronic dealing and reporting of transactions in the government securities was introduced in February 2002. It facilitates the members to submit electronically bids or applications for primary issuance of government securities when the auctions are conducted. So the public debt office, that is which is located at Mumbai, thereby facilitating settlements of transaction in the government security. So transactions relating to government securities are settled through the member securities or current accounts maintained with the RBI. Quantitative easing. Okay. A monetary policy used by some central banks to increase the money supply is called as quantitative easing. Okay, QE. This is achieved by direct increase in the money supply and a knock-on effect from the fractional reserve system changes. QE often involves the purchase of the government by bonds by the first crediting own accounts with the money out of nothing and then purchasing the government bonds. Okay, so this is done by changing the reserve requirements for banks, which though the fractional reserve system leading to increase the money supply. So what is financial intermediaries? To carry out a trade in the market, there are a number of entities with whom an investor is required to deal with. They include stockbroker, depository agency, clearing corporation, and the banks. These entities are known as the financial intermediaries. Okay, these entities are mediators. So this is called as financial intermediaries. What is stockbroker? We will see the stockbroker is the most important financial intermediary related to the stock market transactions. This is the authorized entity that can trade on the exchange on your behalf. Okay. It holds a license to operate under the guidelines issued by the SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India. As an investor, you have to register yourself with the broker. In turn, the broker also gets the trader registered with the stock exchange. Any trade to buy or the sell has to be done through the broker. So an investor has to request his or her broker to carry out the trade of his interest. Some brokers also provide a trading terminal facility on your device so that you can directly carry out the trade. So this is the about the stockbroker. In India today, most securities are maintained in the stock is dematerialized, that is demat account. Okay, demat form. All investors need to hold the demat account to park their holdings. NSDL or SDDL are the two major agencies who are initially permitted to provide this facility. So there are different financial intermediaries are there, like depositories, banks. So what is demat account is a place where the shares that are owned are digitally stored. The service of the demat account is offered by another financial intermediary, that is depositor. Okay. The basic of transferring the fund from the bank account for buying a share is done by the banks. So banks, what is banks? Banks are involved as monetary transaction happens through the bank. Banks also provide depository accounts for the investor in collaboration with NSDL and SDL. So IPO markets. Till now we have seen why to invest, how to invest, but the question that arises now is who is selling the share that we are buying, how is he selling, and who decides the price. To get the answer to this, we will start thinking about the business. Basically, one way of raising finance from a company is by issuing share. Initially, shares are sold to the promoters of the company. To be more precise, two or more people come together to form a limited company by putting their capital into the business. For this capital investment, they are issued shares of the company. These initial investors are called the promoters of the company. Okay. So, suppose these are the examples given for the Ashok and the Nirman, who company putting 60 and 40 millions of the rupees as the seed money for the company. So he invested in a particular amount, issue price per share, and number of shares issued by them, and percentage shareholding. So he Ashok invested more than the Nirman. So he is the 60% shareholding of the company, and the Nirman having the 40% of the company. So this is so in the next business we will see what is FPO, that is follow public offering, and IPO, that is initial public offering. Okay. When the company feels they require further cash to expand its business, it may decide to issue shares to the public at a large. If such an issue is happening for the first time, then this is called the initial public offering, and otherwise it is called as follow public offering. That is FPO and IPO. IPO stands for initial public offering, and FPO stands for follow public offering. So IPO market is a part of primary market, as the shares of the sold here are being offered for the first time by a company and not being traded between the investors. Though sometime an IPO involves sale of shares held by the VC. So today we will stop here. In the next chapter, in the next lecture, we will continue with this topic. Thank you, everyone.